This is my last video on Onion Man for quite some time until sometime around middle to end of December. The last few days have been kind of a doozy, and you would think with somebody with so much evidence surfacing of their behaviors and things that they've done, the last thing you would want to do is make yourself look more insane and guilty of the particular things you're being accused of by making a parody out of it. But this is Onion Man that we're talking about, so should we really be surprised at this point? I don't think so. So on his Instagram, Onion decided that it would be a great idea to upload some filtered photos of himself. And well, you see, because I'm a professional model, I don't know if you guys know this on the side, but I do a lot of modeling, and you're gonna see my modeling-esque body in a moment here, is that Onision too thinks that he's a model. The difference is, I'm a real model, he's not. I'm still in my 20s, he's way in his 30s, moving on to his 40s. So today I want you to rate me on a scale to 1 to 10, and Onion on a scale to 1 to 10. On which do you prefer? Because remember, I've taken so many modeling classes that nobody can compete with my build. They just can't. I'm a man of, I'm a sexy looking man. So, in order to achieve this, I'm going to try to stylize the exact same modeling photos that Onision posted on his Instagram. So, prepare your eyes. I know you're going to be overloaded with excitement. This is never seen before photos of me that you're going to see live on camera. So, in order to properly make this as accurate as possible, we got some glasses, because, you know, filters, I can't compete with the filters, man. You got the filters or you got the real thing. I'm always going to give you the real thing. So, here we go. I'm going to put these on here, and now, that's the photo right now. This is number 1 of 4 that we're going to modelize and stylize. Now, obviously, my hair is not as insanely long as his, because I did get a haircut, but I think it's appropriate. Actually, let me rephrase this. I gotta take off my shirt. Okay. So here we go, right now. Put these on like this. Now, I gotta kind of, point my chin out like this. Kind of look here, my hand like this, okay? Here we go. And now some cherries, okay? Gonna put it like this, pull my hair out like that, a little bit that I have. All right, so comparison shot, what do you guys think? Yay, nay, do I compete with the one and only? Okay, so now we're gonna go on number 2, okay? This one, so here's the next photo right here, okay? This is, I don't know what this is. This is Onion style of bend over, I want to give your kiddos candy from the candy truck type of persona. I don't know. But in order to achieve this properly, we gotta do it as close as resembles. So I'm gonna put it like this, right? Okay. So look at those little, look at the jiggle right there. Woo! I got my trusty tattoo on my arm because, you know, we gotta be as accurate as possible. Stick my head out a little more like this. Here we go. Okay. And you can look at this, look at my six-pack, look at my gut, my belly. I'm gonna put my hands down here in this area, kind of pull down. And here we go. Here we go. Here's the competing photo. Here. Do I win? Come on, I think I win. I think, come on, you can't compete with that. Look at this. Who's a better model on Instagram? The raw, real form? Or the man who has to use 1,000 filters to cover up his speed bump-esque body? I think I win in that department. Now we got the third photo, and whoo, this one's a doozy. This is one of those photos where it's like, I'm all yours, baby cakes. So in order to achieve this, I'm gonna go like this, all right? Here we go. Gotta lean back. How's it look, guys? Does this compete? Cherries, please. There we go. Got some cherries around us. Oh, yeah. And here's the 4th image right here. We're gonna replicate this identical. Here we go. So I ask my audience, which do you prefer? The raw, real man who refuses to put filters on his body, or the man who puts filters in order to appeal the very, 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 very young? Let me know in the comments below. Now, all jokes aside, Onision uploaded 2 recent videos on his channel, which I'm not gonna showcase, because trust me, you don't actually want to click them and you don't want to actually watch them, because they're actually pretty, they're very bad. Bad in the way is, like, you can see this one right here, Onision on Chris Hansen, quotes, exclusive. Chris Hansen interviews Onision. Now, if you notice, these top 2 videos that he made is like the highest views he's ever gotten on his channel in like the last month or so. But essentially what he does is he takes some clips of Chris Hansen, because you know he's been being looked into by Chris Hansen, and he decides that it would be a great idea to edit things that Chris Hansen says and make his own exclusive interview in response to it, because he's too afraid to actually go and talk to Chris Hansen one-on-one like a normal person to clear his name, because why would anyone want to clear their name of such serious allegations of evidence that has come up and surfaced? But regardless, he says some pretty nasty, kind of explicit things that I'm not going to even repeat here, that I know for a fact that you don't want to hear him say. Saying horrible things, like gross things, in response to Chris Hansen's edited interview that he took and edited himself, which when you're being accused of serious things, and there's evidence of those serious things, that you've done those serious things, I don't know how making a parody out of it necessarily helps your case look any better. If anything, it makes you look worse, but we all know his IQ is below the number of 50, therefore it shouldn't be surprised that he always likes to dig his hole a little bit deeper. He's also been tweeting out really strange, bizarre things, such as like, how long would you want to be married to Onision, and doing these weird polls, asking things like, how desperate are you willing to, you know, sleep in my bed? Because that's not a totally creepy thing to ask your audience. Ugh, gives me chills just thinking about it. Can you imagine how dirty that bed actually must be? If you ever see any background photos of in his videos and how messy everything is, especially his kitchen, it's not an environment that anybody would want to live in. But something that is interesting that occurred as a few days ago is that Onision got onto Kai's Patreon and sent out a message on his Patreon, which is interesting because we all know that Onision has access to all of his husband's social media. Like, he has no control over anything. Which, that's also, by the way, that's a really big red flag. If your significant other has to have access to everything and all your login information, just be wary of that. Regardless, he says, so Kai hates me for talking about this, nor does Kai know that I'm sending this message. So right off the bat, you admit that you're violating his trust by getting on their social media and sending out something that you know that he would not want you to send, but you're doing it anyway. Great job disrespecting your husband. You sound like a wonderful husband. Everybody would love to be Onision's husband, because you just respect and love the people so close to you that you disrespect them by doing something against their wishes that they don't want any part of. Good job! But I'm sending you this message. But I'm Kai's husband. I want people to know who he is. He's a great person, and he has stayed with silent for recent series of events dragged on by the tabloid YouTube channels due to how hurt he was after, well, basically losing the ability to trust the people who they say there are, even people he has known for years who said they would never hurt him or try to humiliate him like they now successfully have. As I said in my last video, you can never avoid not getting hurt in any marriage or relationship by anybody. That's just not possible. People who have been married for 50 plus years, they're going to do things and maybe react certain ways. They're going to hurt your significant other. In instances like that, you make up, you do what you got to do. Sometimes friendships will end. Sometimes that's just how the world works. The problem is that the reason so many people have turned on Kai specifically is that there is extremely undeniable evidence of what he has done in regards to the involvement of a person by the name of Sarah. Now, I've already covered the whole Sarah ordeal. You can watch my older videos made a couple months ago. I'm not going to go into that stuff again. But again, there's undeniable evidence that certain things occurred that were illegal and certain photos were exchanged that were, again, illegal and sent to somebody who was under the age of 18. And because of that, people don't like Kai anymore, because Kai took advantage of somebody and hurt somebody and sees nothing wrong with what he has done. I feel extremely bad for what is going on because if he had never met me, he could have a private life, one that would never involve a huge portion of the internet believing something about him that's not only untrue, but completely unfair, emotionally crippling to endure. Nobody cares, dude. Literally, nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares about what you have to say. Nobody cares about what your husband has to say. And there's nothing that he could say that let him speak. But that will never happen, because we all know that you have a thumb on the roof and you control what this person says, and you somehow think that you having a voice speaking for him is somehow going to make a case, when the reality is it doesn't. Kai suffered a pretty huge heartbreak, losing his best friend for the anti-Onision community, and they no longer recognize the person who called him his best friend mutually. That person has been at Kai's throat, doing everything they can to ruin him, being what even they, prior to me kicking them out of their life, blah, blah, described as being an amazing person. Look, No matter how much you say somebody's amazing, the actions and behaviors that your husband committed are not amazing. So therefore, no matter how many times you say somebody's amazing, the actions and behaviors contradict that they're amazing. You can see more of this. I'm not even going to read the whole thing because it's just him repeating himself, which is commonly what he does. If you support anyone, please don't even both with... Man, it's sometimes really hard to read his stuff. Both with me. Please instead support Kai. He is literally my favorite person in the world. Nobody cares that he's your favorite person in the world. Right now, Kai is still hurting, still struggling to have any faith in people. Well, you know what? What about Sarah? Sarah doesn't have any faith in people anymore because you guys took advantage of that. Think about that for a second. Think about the person in the place of the person who you took advantage of. How they don't have faith in normal relationships anymore, because your husband preyed upon that person. And that's undeniable at this point. Cool Guy Kai hasn't updated their YouTube channel, despite all the things that they've been going through. Comments are saturated with hateful things because of the former best friend. Well, did you know that your Kai and you haven't actually allowed YouTube comments on your videos in like the last 6 to 8 months? So I don't know where your like YouTube comments. Nobody can write YouTube comments on any of your guys' videos because they're always disabled. So obviously that's a lie, straight up. There's no YouTube comments because nobody can comment on Kai's videos or your videos, and it's been that way for almost 6 months in total. Which I understand because you guys can't accept anybody saying anything negatively or in response to a legitimate criticism, so just disable comments completely. Kai gave up on Twitter, doesn't have a public Facebook, and basically never posts to Instagram anymore. If people wanted to hurt me by doing this to Kai, they were successful, but the thing is, I don't matter. Kai is the most innocent person I know among anyone. And if you have super serious things being thrown at you, and all the evidence points to that you actually doing those things, but you refuse to actually speak about it, an apology or at least addressing the issue is better than just simply ignoring it all the time. The one thing my family taught is to never remain silent when injustice is done to you. And I wholeheartedly stand by that, no matter who it is and how much I dislike somebody. Let that person have a voice and say their piece, no matter if it's wrong or not. They have the right to talk. But there's not a second that goes through my mind that I know I feel it in my gut, that Onision, even if Kai wanted to speak up, Onision wouldn't let him do that. Absolutely not. Kai's never had a voice on anything. He's never made a post addressing certain things. Just, it doesn't happen because he controls it all. Thank you for sticking up for Kai. I can't emphasize enough how much he needs people to be genuine in his life. I know real honest people out there, so if he ever does post videos on YouTube again, just subscribing to his channel, leaving would be a nice comment. That would be help. Nobody can leave nice comments on a channel that has all the comments disabled. So I don't know what you're trying to prove here. Trying to pull this sympathy card times 9,000 here because it's not going to work. Oh, Kai's never going to make a YouTube video again because of all the hate. Well, you put yourself in that position by the things that you decided to do and try to cover up. Perhaps if you had been more transparent with certain things and not try to hide behind certain things and force NDAs to be signed, which is like the strangest thing ever. Like, imagine I wanna date somebody and I force them to sign an NDA. It's just really suspicious. I would never make my significant other sign a piece of paper say, don't talk about our relationship ever. Because I have nothing to hide with stuff like that. When you're forcing your significant other to sign an NDA, it's just, that's not a good look ever at any point. But yeah, there you go. This was my response to Onision's blah, 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 blah. Look, guys, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of getting burnt out. I know you guys like this, but I'm kind of getting burnt out with the whole Onion thing. So no more Onion videos until maybe late December. And I don't want to keep making stuff where I'm not super passionate about it, if that makes sense. But don't worry, don't worry. Next week is the Kai Files, so that video is dropping. It will be posted on this channel sometime next week. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. And then I also have another video coming in the next week on Madam, who now goes by the name of Princess Ash, of all things, trying to rebrand herself, which is funny because I called that. I told you guys that's what was going to happen, and what does she do? She tries to rebrand herself again. But regardless, thanks for watching this video. Taking a break from Onion Man for quite some time. Hope you guys can understand that. Peace.